It's time to get local with Krysta and discover some of Simcoe County's best local businesses. Healing in Color is a community healing center in Guilford that is owned and operated by the husband and wife duo, Suki and Josh. Healing in Color is a safe space that offers Reiki energy healing sessions, counseling, mindfulness programs, workshops, retreats, kids camps, private events, and more. Hi, Suki.
Hi, Krysta.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your space. What does Healing in Color mean?
Well, healing in color to us means that not everything is always in black and white. We're a reminder that color is so beautiful and color can help us heal, and we're all people of different color as well, and that really is represented in this space of people that we have coming to the space, practitioners that we have working here sometimes, and even ourselves. Is we're inviting people of all colors into our space, and we love color.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yes, I can see that. It's right, beautiful. Yeah. That's amazing. So what exactly do you do at Healing in Color?
So our services are nature-based, kind of taking it back old school sometimes, bringing us back to our roots and healing in that way in terms of, what we eat, what environment we surround ourselves with. We really have a big lens on holistic healing and not just for one individual. We have a community outlook. I've been working in the community services for the last 15 years or so. So within my work, I knew that not only working with children, I needed to work with the whole family.
For the one-on-one experiences, what types of things do you work on with people?
Bringing counseling together with holistic healing. So a lot of the times in the counseling space, the focus is only on the mind, but in this space, we're focusing on mind, body, and soul, and then that's the holistic part for us. So, and counseling to me looks like more like having a conversation. Talking about where you're at, and then we'll move into a cacao ceremony, which is a grounding ceremony to connect us back to our heart and connect us with Mother Earth. And then I also offer Reiki healing with that as well.
What exactly is that?
Reiki is an energy healing. So many of us don't always acknowledge that we are energetic bodies and that we have energy. Sometimes I like to explain it to little ones as like the Force in Star Wars. A lot of the times when we don't deal with our emotions or we avoid them, or there's a lot of negativity around us, it takes an effect on our overall health and our energetic body, our aura, our force field, if you want to call it, like Star Wars. And what happens over time is a lot of those areas, the chakras, the energy bodies that we have, let's say they get clogged. And when that happens, it creates discomfort within the body. So as you get older, and I'm sure you witnessed this, as you get older, we get more back pain, we get migraines, we get headaches. We're noticing a lot more in our body. But as we age, we've buried a lot of things within the energetic body. So an energy healing session essentially is life force energy that is available from the universe. It's not religious based or anything like that. It's just universal based on universal energy. So if you ever heard of the word qi in like Chinese medicine or Tai Chi or Qigong, it's using that energy that's available to all of us.
And this yurt that we're in, can you tell me about this and how it's built and what it means?
Yeah, our yurt space, so we call it the healing yurt. It's a round structure, and when you're in a round space, there's no corners, so the energy moves really beautifully in this space. But also, a circle represents such beautiful things. It represents oneness, it represents connected, being connected. Yurts have been around for over 3,000 years, so Mongolians have lived in them for that time. And our yurt is Mongolian made. It's made in Mongolia by a family of 13 siblings and their children together in community, which was our intention for the space. So it just felt so fitting to everything that we represent.
As soon as you walk in, you feel that energy, and it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this space with us. We're going to head over to the Healing Center and chat with Josh.
Great.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
I know that you focus a lot on what you call mindful masculinity. Can you tell me what that means?
Absolutely. So, masculinity has been something that a lot of people talk about, especially in the last few years. And, what I noticed is that a lot of people would sort of just put it in one box. It would just be toxic masculinity, that's it. It can't be anything else. So I thought that, we really need to re-examine this, and we need to actually even use new words around it. We need to actually explore it, understand what this term even means, so that way we can actually say, are we actually saying that this describes what we're talking about, or perhaps do we need to actually go deeper with that? So for myself, I just thought that, you know what, there's a lot of elements of masculinity that perhaps men identify as being those traits they need to exhibit. And then when you have a conversation with women, it's a very different conversation that we're having. So I just thought that, you know what, we need to do something so we can really bridge this gap, improve communication amongst our relationships, especially with our partners. And then I think that, you know, a lot of us would be feeling a lot more fulfilled and just enjoying life a lot more.
Wow, and what types of services do you offer along with that?
Absolutely. So at Healing in Color, I focus on what I call image consulting. It's essentially coaching. However, it is kind of a step higher than that. It's where you have more of that real world experience of those things that you're coaching people on. So for example, I have over 13 years worth of leadership and training experience in the business world. So that's something that I identify as one of those niche items that I can help people with. And the other thing that I do is I actually lead the men's retreats that we host here. So that offers an opportunity for men. You know, we keep it to about a size of 10 men to come out, and we really have a unique experience together, something that they don't even realize they're getting themselves into in the best way possible.
Wow, that's very cool. And like, what types of people come? Are there like fathers, sons, all kind of a mix?
Yeah, there's absolutely a mix. And you know, it's all different colors, walks of life. And you know, some of the things that I've heard that really make me smile is I set out a day for us where, you know, we're doing something where we're getting the energy flowing, we're sweating, we're competing, because that's kind of how we get things rolling with ourselves. Then we have some time together where we actually eat face to face, we have a cacao ceremony, sharing circle, and we actually spend some time by the fire. And that's usually where we really open up. So on one occasion, we actually had some guys, we got into the healing yurt, we're talking, we're opening up, and they're like, hey, would you mind if we actually scrapped the entire program for the day and just sat in here and talked?
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for sharing about what you guys do here. It was great seeing the whole space.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming.
Blueberry Moon is a new age general store filled with impactfully curated goods, social purpose, and a strong, loyal community. Heather is known as the Sunshine on Dunlop and has created this eclectic and inclusive space. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Krysta.
Thank you for having us here at Blueberry Moon. I want to start by saying this is not a statistic, but I'm like pretty confident in saying that Blueberry Moon is one of the most loved stores in Barrie and probably beyond.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
You've really made an impact on the community. Were you expecting that kind of response when you opened Blueberry Moon?
Well, when I opened Blueberry Moon, I was in a very small location and there wasn't really a lot of opportunity for impact because, first of all, I opened during COVID, so we were under lockdown, and also our space was so small. When we moved into the larger space, we had an opportunity to build the community space with the table and just host a lot more customers. And this really organic, beautiful community started to grow around that. And no, I wasn't expecting it. Every day and every time I hear something like that, it's beyond my wildest dreams.
Oh, that's awesome. And what kind of products do you sell here?
So we kind of call ourselves a new age general store. We have a really nice paper goods section where we try to make sure that we have cards for literally everyone in your life. We have a drink cooler with non-alcoholic drink options. We have housewares and books and all sorts of things made by indie businesses. Some are local, and almost all of them are women-owned, minority-owned, and implement some kind of social good aspect into their businesses as well.
I know a lot of businesses kind of separate their personal feelings or values with their business, but you are a very strong advocate for a lot of things. Why did you decide to have that as part of your business and not keep your values kind of separate?
I think that probably has a lot to do with my personality. I never really saw a way to operate a store such as this without kind of involving my own values. I mean, the things that I sell support people going through mental health struggles, going through addiction. They're things that have happened in my life that have shaped my experiences so that I wanted to support people who who were marginalized, who didn't feel like they were welcome everywhere. I wanted this to truly be a place where people could come through the door and say, wow, I feel good here. I feel safe and welcomed and not judged.
Right, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And you were talking about the community table, and you also host some events and workshops. Can you tell me a bit about those?
Yeah, so we have our big community table here behind me. We host monthly events, we host weekly events, we have a crafternoon. That's a group of really lovely, talented artisans who we literally just sit and make together. It's really fun. Yeah, so we have a community calendar. So every month you can come in and see what we have going on. Tomorrow night there's a clothing swap here. So just to have that little bit of space where we're able to host things like that is really awesome for me. It makes me feel like we can have the retail space, but then have that community interest as well.
What would you say if someone brand new walked into Blueberry Moon? What can they expect?
They can expect to hear someone's life story, probably. They can expect to be showered with ideas about things to do downtown Barrie. I often promote my my local businesses on the street. If someone's looking for something that I can't help them with, I'll often send them to other places. We laugh a lot, we dance a lot. There's usually a kid or a dog here. We joke that we have the most newborn babies. I mean, we hold a lot of babies, and it's just a place where you want to pull up a chair and join in on the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
Welcome to Bliss Jewellery Studio in Barrie. Jennifer is a goldsmith that offers custom design, repurposed jewelry, workshops for all experience levels, and private events. Hi Jennifer, thank you so much for having me in your studio today. I'm so excited to chat with you. You're a goldsmith who creates custom pieces, you repurpose jewelry, you host workshops and events, and you do a lot of really cool things here. I would love to hear a little bit of your story about how you started and how you got in this industry.
Well, I'm a relative newbie to the industry in the great scheme of things. I went back to school at 39. My dad passed away unexpectedly, and just realized I wasn't bringing me joy what I was doing before, so I went back to school for 3 years at Georgian College and haven't looked back since. So it's been fabulous, and just keep moving forward.
Wow, that's very inspiring to hear that you decided to find what you loved. How did you realize that jewelry making was what you loved to do?
People always ask me, they're like, you must have been really creative when you were younger. I was like, no. No, I wasn't. But I just, I started cutting stones first, and then I realized I didn't have anything to do with them, so I wanted to create the settings for them. So I started doing night classes and that sort of thing. So it just kind of grew from that and evolved.
Wow. So now you create custom pieces for people, things like wedding bands, things like repurposed jewelry, so maybe older pieces to refresh them. That's the kind of stuff that you're working on?
It's my favorite thing to do when it comes to designing jewelry, because most people have a plethora of old jewelry in their jewelry box that is just sitting there collecting dust. So not only are we recycling, but we're reusing sentimental pieces that mean something to somebody. So it's always different. Each job is very different. I work a little differently than other jewelers would. It's very hands-on with the customer, so they're here a lot and they're involved in the process every step of the way. But I love just seeing, how it evolves from this, pile of junk to something really cool.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And I feel like it's a great way to make maybe memorial pieces or very sentimental pieces for people.
Yeah.
And you are sharing your expertise and you host workshops. Can you tell me a bit about those and what types of workshops you host and how they work?
We started workshops. I started in my previous studio about 5 years ago, and it was just for 2-3 people, really small. But I was kind of limited on the types of workshops we were doing. So now that we've moved into the new facility, 1,600 square feet, we've got a ton of space to do different things. So we're doing casting, lapidary, titanium, repurposing, old spoons and china and things like that. So a lot more choices that people can make.
And do people need to have experience to come to these workshops?
No, the stackable ring workshop is a great introductory to metalsmithing, so a lot of people start with that. And I've had as young as like 15 to 85 start.
Wow.
And she was wicked with a hammer, so she did just fine. Some workshops require a little bit more experience, but we try to offer workshops for everybody so nobody feels left out.
And you also offer private events.
Yes, starting in the spring, we just started introducing private parties, and we do it for bridal parties, birthdays, family events. It's been a lot of fun, and we do mini ones, or we can do a full day one, but the ladies seem to have a great time. It doesn't seem like work because everybody's just having a good time.
Yeah, that sounds like a great like bonding experience, but also you get to create something beautiful and you're learning a new skill. It's like
one of the things I've really noticed, and it could be just post-COVID, is people are really inspired by creating memories together. So it's about experiences and enjoying that time together. Like at the end of the day, they end up with something tangible with a ring or whatever, but it's also the fact that they created it together, that they enjoyed that time together. And it's special.
right. And I'm gonna ask you the toughest question yet. What is your favorite piece that you've ever created?
When I was in school, I created a ring that I just loved and I couldn't part with, made out of mokume gane. It's a very specific type of technique, really difficult to do, and I just kind of fell in love with it and I just couldn't part with it. So I still have that. Custom rings, it's a little different. Seeing the customer's expression, like when they cry, kills me. Because obviously it's the best compliment because they're just so taken with the piece that they, they're very emotional. So there's been a couple of those where the customer just got really emotional because it was sentimental jewelry and it was important to them to kind of repurpose it into something new. So there's been a few of those as well. So I know I cheated. I gave you a couple answers.
That's okay. I wasn't really expecting that you could fully answer that. So that's awesome. We are at Quayle's Brewery, a family-run, farm-to-glass brewery, restaurant, and event space in Oro-Medonte. Hi, Catherine. We are here in the beer garden at Quayle's Brewery. I'm very excited to be here. It's beautiful out here. I would love if you can tell me a little bit about what Quayle's Brewery is and how you got started.
Welcome to Quayle's Brewery. We are a farm brewery. We have a hop yard here, so we grow 12 acres of hops. We have 3 of the 4 ingredients here on the property, and we make all of our beer here on site. But we're more than just a brewery. We actually have a restaurant, we have an outdoor patio, we have the beautiful beer garden, and we host many events, including weddings and special events. So tomorrow night we actually have a comedy night, and we're doing a Christmas market.
How did you come up with this idea of Quayle's Brewery?
Well, it was a gap here, really. It's such a beautiful area in Oro-Medonte, and we wanted to celebrate that. It's a 4-season paradise. It has lots of activities, and what we wanted to do was build a place that people could come and gather and meet, and we wanted to build just more than a brewery. So that's where the farm brewery came in. We're one of the largest hop farms in Ontario.
And you call it farm to glass. Can you explain a little bit about what that process is?
Every beer we actually make using hops from our own farm. Some are exclusively our own hops, and we also import a lot as well. So it's farm fresh. We made over 100 beers last year, so that's something very unique to us, is that we want to have it that every time you come, you're able to experience something new. So we have 5 core beers that are always on tap, and then we have the others are always rotating. So something new to try every time you get to experience, and our staff are here to help educate you and be able to help people learn more about the process, including walking through the hop farms.
Cool. And what inspires the different flavors? You had over 100. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So, I mean, beer is made with 4 key ingredients, and that's the amazing thing, is that you can make so many different varieties and styles of beer and flavors from the hops. So all the flavor comes from the hops, the yeast, and the malts and grains. And so we have an amazing brew team here who brews everything here on site and comes up with creativity, including the names of the beers.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Give me a name. What's one of the names?
Well, I mean, every name has a story, for
Okay.
sure. So Line 12, which is our #1 seller, is here because of Line 12. We're on
Okay.
Line 12. Reitbauer, which is one of our other core beers, that's a German Pilsner. So Reitbauer is if anyone plays euchre, it's a game of choice up here. So Reitbauer is the highest card in the game.
Oh wow!
And also Bauer in German means farmer, which we are a farm. So
perfect.
there's a story behind everything.
Oh, I love that. And your restaurant. So you were telling me that you have seasonal menus. Can you tell me a bit about what are on those?
We use our outdoor kitchen in the summertime. And one of our famous items on our menu is our smash burgers. People come from far, and we actually have to give them 30 days warning before we take it off the menu.
Oh, wow.
They love the smash burgers, but we'll have things like fish tacos, pork carnitas, really something for everyone who come here. What we find is that we attract a really broad demographic. We have guests coming from all ages and from as far away as Toronto, but all local from the area. And we also find, so we're very kid friendly, which is not every brewery. Right. So we invite people to come play cornhole. In the wintertime we have a skating rink, we do sleigh rides, and also very dog friendly too, which people really appreciate. We invite guests to bring their dogs and sit on the patio.
Nice. And so people can come and actually go on a tour and see a little bit about the process of the beer that they're drinking.
Absolutely. So this is the time of year right now, actually, we're just going into our harvest season. So we'll start harvesting our hops. We offer hop tours and brewery tours as well. So you can learn about the hops, learn about all the key ingredients that go into making the beer, be able to smell the hops, be able to have a beer tasting at the end and be able to enjoy that.
And you also host weddings. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Sure. So we host a variety of events. So weddings is one. We have a big tent in the back. So weddings can be from anywhere from micro weddings of 20 people up to 150. But we also host these special events as well. We do a Christmas market, we do spring markets, so we do a lot of really exciting events that invite people to the property. We had Pets and Pints last weekend, so again, just really catering to our market and people who like to come here.
Right.
And so just really want to make this a great place for people to come, to be able to experience and have that farm to glass experience.
Thank you so much for having me here. I need to go try a smash burger and a beer now.
Well, thank you for coming, and we welcome anyone to come visit. Come back to Quayle's Brewery on 4567 Line 12.
Perfect. Welcome to Mad Hatter's Table in Cookstown. This coffee meets retail shop offers homemade food, organic fair trade coffee and tea, ice cream, as well as a curated artisan shop filled with many sustainably crafted items. Hi Debbie, thank you so much for having me here at Mad Hatter's Table.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm very excited to be here. It's such a cool concept. Coffee shop meets artisan shop meets ice cream shop. What sparked the idea for Mad Hatter's Table?
I think it's my background. I come from both restaurant and retail. I've done both for a number of years, and they clash together in this concept, I guess. And I started it in COVID, so it was a bit of a crazy idea to do that at the time. And I just wanted something that was a bit more eclectic and not your normal run-of-the-mill coffee shop.
Right. Very cool. And the name Mad Hatter's Table is really fun also. What's the story behind that?
It's the madness of 2020 that brought the name about. I mean, I love the quotes from Lewis Carroll from the story. 2020 was an extremely traumatic year for me. My brother passed away. I lost my job.
Oh, wow.
My dog passed away.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like I needed to do something to fill in my life. Right. And this was it. Basically, I walked by the location one day and was like, oh, that's perfect. I can do the coffee shop and I can do the retail. And so that's kind of where it came from, was the madness of 2020.
Right. So the coffee shop side, you have organic fair trade coffee and tea, specialty drinks. Can you tell me a little bit about what's on your coffee menu?
Basically, we do a lot of lattes and cappuccinos. We try to come out with something that may be seasonal at the time. Cold drinks are very popular amongst the young people, and it's a growing, actually, trend. Not that I understand it personally. We're trying to capture that with some creativity.
And for the food, I know everything is made in-house by you or your team, sandwiches, baked goods, everything. Why was it important for you to make all of that in-house?
Well, for me particularly, the bread was important to do in-house to avoid having the preservatives that are in most of the breads that we buy commercially off the shelf, and even from other bakers. Because I have a background in nutrition, and one of the issues is I wanted to do something that was healthier for people. It also means, unfortunately, that there's a shorter lifespan of the product, so we turn it over quite frequently.
Can you tell me a little bit about the items that are on your menu?
Our menu is pretty simple. We do soup from scratch on a daily basis. We do salads, several different salads. One of the most popular salads at the moment is the quinoa salad, so the protein salads, chicken sandwiches. So there's the chicken club, there's the chicken thai, which is really popular.
Baked goods, you also create lots of delicious baked goods as well, served in the coffee shop.
We make a lot of muffins. We do have our healthy muffins. We have our gluten-free muffins. We also do scones, and our scones are really popular.
So we're here in the retail shop now. Can you tell me a little bit about the items that you sell here?
So for the product that I choose here, I try to get local artisans that I can support. I also try to carry products, if they're made outside of Canada, that are fair trade and sustainably produced. Also, we try to focus on the environmental aspects of some of our goods. We try to carry products that are produced with less chemicals, are less likely to affect their health and affect the environment. We sell a lot of children's products. We find that they sell quite well, so there is a need for Canadian-made children's products. The household items we have here are very functional. You can use them in your home. They're for your personal use and to give as gifts, but not so much decorative as meant to serve a purpose.
You have a very wide range of items here, and I love that sustainability and handmade is so important to you. Thank you so much for having me here, and I think I need to go try a sandwich now.
Okay, sounds good.